and we'll be starting in a couple of moments. Good morning, everyone. We are so glad you were able to join us. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Haidee Williams, and I am the research liaison, which basically is the person that really works closely with the researchers and the practitioners in the field. And I will be your facilitator for this bridge event. And now that you know a little bit about me, I'd like to know something about you. Please go ahead and complete this poll right here and let us know what's your role and what state are you from? I can see we've got several professional development providers, university staff, and researchers. Wonderful. I think you will enjoy what we're going to share with you today. And we've got people from Colorado, Indiana, a next door neighbor, Missouri, South Carolina, Wisconsin. This is really awesome. So I'm going to move back. And as Jackie told you in the introduction, some of you may not have been here yet, is that the REL Southwest has 8 research alliances, most of them focused in a state, but then some of them are focused on a content area, as you can see here, English learners and educator effectiveness. But this particular bridge event is hosted by the Oklahoma Rural Schools Research Alliance. And as I mentioned before, I have the pleasure to be the liaison with this alliance. And this alliance has some very particular goals that are focused primarily on rural schools. And these purposes and goals were developed through multiple work sessions with educators and researchers. And if you'll look at the third sub-bullet under student successes, you can see that one of the primary goals is to gain access and effectively use Oklahoma data, which really leads us and folds in very well with our goal for today's Bridge event, and that's to provide perspective, which we are bringing in some researchers and some people that have actually done it, some principles, and some tools for everyone that's logged into this Bridge event to understand how to effectively use data in their schools. And as you can see, we've got some definite outcomes for this Bridge event, and that's to understand the key aspects, not every one of them, but the key aspects that are based on research and best practice, and also become familiar with some of the challenges. And most importantly, the opportunities that come up and how you can possibly explore to overcome the challenges. And then also begin to apply some of this information in your context. When we say local, we're talking about your context. Okay? So let's take a quick look at our agenda. We've had the overview. We're going to have some presentations from Ellen and Diana. They're going to give you our research perspective. And then following that, we'll have Jana Davis and Vicki Wilson, who have been going through this process for about a year. And they're going to talk about their journey. And then we'll have a good question and answer time at the end. And I want to remind everyone, please type your questions in the chat pod, and I will be actively copying them and saving them for our question and answer time. Don't wait till the end, because you'll forget what your questions are. And that's really, we want to respond to what's important to you. So let me begin with an introduction of our researchers, Ellen and Diana. Ellen is a senior research scientist and director of the Data for Decisions initiative at WestEd. She's been conducting research for over a decade on how states, districts, and schools and classrooms use data to inform decision making. One of her recent projects has been to schools in Arizona to examine how technologies in blended and personalized learning environments provide sources of data to administrators, teachers, students, and parents that might not be available without the tools. She's also studying how schools of education can better prepare educators to be data literate. And then playing tag team throughout this presentation will also be Diana, who's been engaging teachers and administrators in professional development for over 25 years. And the last 15 years have been focused on helping schools use their data to improve learning outcomes for everyone, every student. The materials and processes she and her team use have been created with funding assistance for research from the National Science Foundation, the U.S. Department of Education, and several philanthropic foundations, but primarily informed by their work with teachers and administrators. Her current development project is revising the Using Data Online course for launch at the Knowledge Delivery Systems, which hosts blended learning courses for educators. And just as a reminder, as we go through this presentation with Ellen and Diana, and later with Vicki and Jana, type in your questions so that we can respond to what's burning with you, burning issues. Okay? Diana, Ellen, are you ready?
Ready. All right, we're ready.